going on, Jerome? So Pete Schrager is one of the very few national media jabroni haircuts that we can actually tolerate, because he calls balls and strikes, he calls a spade, and he does give the Minnesota Fighting Vikings their flowers when they are due to them. And also, I love Good Morning Football. I mean, it's good with with McCourty, with the Angry Runs guy, as well as our girl Jamie Erdahl, all that stuff. But I don't know, it's weird. It's like the show just like, goodbye, we're moving coast. Everyone's going to be really cryptic about what's going on. I don't know. Who knows what's going on with NFL Network. But Pete Schrager did release his mock draft 1.0, so he does 2 per offseason. And Schrager, I mean, he is dialed in. Like, he talks with all these coaches, all these executives, all this stuff. So does he have some inside info, some tidbits? Certainly. And the Vikings stick and pick in his mock draft because there are no trades. And some interesting things happen. So Williams 1, Daniels 2, May 3. I think that is possible and plausible. Although I feel like the Patriots, I feel like J.J. McCarthy is the Patriots' cup of tea, but that's a conversation for another day. But Williams, Daniels, May in this spot. And if this is what went down, I like J.J. McCarthy, but at this point, do you give up the future first for him as well as 11-23? I don't know. But like we said, there are, I lied. There are trades in this mock draft. All right, so the Giants move up to 4. They snag J.J. McCarthy, and they move up for tossing this Arizona and next year's second rounder. So this year's third round. All right, so they give up 6. This year's third and next year's second. So pretty sizable to move up 2 spots. The Vikings get boxed out from the big 4 quarterbacks. Certainly possible. But also, it could be a spot, too, where maybe the Vikings are all in on Drake May or all in on Jaden Daniels, and they're sort of whatever on McCarthy. Now, they probably could have gotten up to 4. But would Arizona want to drop from 4 to 11? It's possible if they would have made the juice worth the squeeze with 11-23 and a future first. But it didn't happen. But McCarthy heads out to the Giants. Godspeed, my friend. Godspeed. The Chargers. So the Chargers obviously want to go offensive line, but I mean, Harrison Jr. just falls into your lap. So you're just like, whoops. Cardinals still get a tier 1 receiver in Roma Dunze. Joe Alt goes to Titans. Dallas Turner goes to the Falcons. I feel like that's one of the most mocked picks. Turner going to the Falcons. Raheem Morris needs some talisman on the edge. Neighbors goes to the Colts, who make a trade with the Bears. The Bears only have 4 draft picks, and the Colts moving on up and getting a tier 1 wide receiver 1 to pair with Pittman for Anthony Richardson. Kind of like that. Also, Josh Downs in there too. Get down. Let's go. 10 Jets getting Brock Bowers of Vikings. So breaking the seal on non-Dallas Turner defensive players. So second defensive player off the board. Terry Arnold, the redshirt sophomore out of Alabama. Woo. Roll Tide. The Vikings stay put to take a top corner, an all-around great prospect. Arnold arrived in Tuscaloosa as a 5-star safety, then played inside and outside corner under Nick Saban. He flourished and was the Alabama defense's field general last season. Great juice and leader. Sam Darnold would be the Vikings' day 1 starter in this scenario. But that doesn't mean Minnesota is done with the quarterback room. Dun, 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 foreshadowing. But Terry Arnold is a guy that I like a lot, and I think that he will be extremely versatile. He can play both sides on the outside, can play in the slot. I think that his versatility and ball skills will be an absolute plus in the Brian Flores scheme. Last year, 5 interceptions and 12 passes broken up, and he could play off, he can play press band, he can play zone. He truly is a do-it-all cornerback. And, I mean, this year, there aren't any like tier one, top 5, Stingley, Gardner type cornerbacks in this draft, but Arnold has a chance to be a very, very good one. And I know that this is the Trey Waynes pick, but don't let that hold that against Terry Arnold. So the Broncos could have a shot. Same thing with the Raiders, Penix and Nix, but they go Latu to Denver. Olave to the Raiders. So now they do have Colton Miller and Olu on the outside at the tackles. Pretty nice. Fuaga going to the Saints. Latham going to the Bears after the trade down. I don't mind that. But also, all right, so they get Latham and Wright. So who plays left tackle? Someone's going to have to switch sides. It'll be fine. Troy Fautanu goes to the Seahawks, stays in Seattle. Quinion Mitchell goes to Jacksonville Jaguars. He's going to look good in those throwback unis. I kind of like it. Murphy goes to the Bengals. Rams take Tyler Guyton. So, I mean, I don't think that Noteboom's working out, but infusing some talent at tackle makes sense. Now, they certainly could have gone defensive line, sure, but Steelers go BTJ. Now, you would think that they could have gone offensive line in this spot, but BTJ might be too much value in the spot, absent a trade for Brandon Ayuk. They need someone to help replace Deontay Johnson's production. Also, BTJ and Pickens on the outside, I kind of like it. Jared Verse goes to the Dolphins. They need a little bit more juice in the pass rush after losing Wilkins and Van Ginkel. And Verse is power, man. He is absolutely freaking power. I love his game. I know why people are apprehensive about him because of the age, but Verse is a stud. Eagles get Cooper to home. It's kind of annoying. Vikings at 23 taking Bo Nix. So they have the choice of Nix and Penix at 23 as they got through the gauntlet of quarterback needy teams in the teens. But the Vikings, again, I have my reservations about Bo Nix, but if people much smarter than I are going to bet their livelihoods on Bo Nix, all in. Let's go. Nix could go as high as 11, 12, or 13 or completely fall the first round. I think 23 to the Vikings or another team around here in a trade-up makes sense. One thing on Nix, he's as accurate as they come, having set the FBS record this past season with a completion percentage of 77.45. That needs some context. That certainly needs... Pete, come on. That certainly needs some context as Bo Nix was bottom 3 in terms of ADOT, average depth of target in FBS. I mean, come on. Smart processor 2. These are things that will be very highly valued by offensive coaches and quarterback gurus. That's Kevin O'Connell. That's Sean Payton. I could see Nix playing for either of those men. Now, I do like Bo Nix. I think that he is feisty. I think that he is plucky. I think that he's a good leader. But, all right, so the Pro Day and also especially the Senior Bowl, like it didn't alleviate concerns that I have about his deep ball velocity as well as his short air, or his small target velocity in terms of 3rd and 4 quick slant. You need to put it in a tight window. Do you have the velocity to do that? I don't know. Got my concerns, but like I said, if people much smarter than I are willing to wager on Bo Nix versus Michael Penix, do it. Do it. I'm still gonna cheer for the kid. I mean, come on, right? Xavier Worthy goes to the Cowboys. Ooh, it's kind of spicy. Now, you would think that wide receiver, sure, but offensive line, yes. Defensive help, sure. But Worthy, I mean, the fastest dude in combine history. I mean, it's gonna be fun. Like him and CD, long time. Because I mean, Brandon Cooks is sort of cooked. They got rid of Gallup, so Mims to the Packers. That's annoying. That's annoying. An absolute monster of a friggin' man at that tackle spot. So, and also they can keep Zach Tom at right tackle. I mean, that's really good for them. Bucks, Graham Barton take over for Ryan Jensen. Darius Robinson going to the Cardinals. I mean, could Darius Robinson turn into like their new Darnell Dockett? I could see that. I mean, Robinson is a monster. Like he's one of my late breaking crushes in this class. Adonai Mitchell, AD, going to the Bills as Josh Allen needs himself a target on the outside. Zach Frazier goes to Lions. So this is interesting because they already have Ragnow. So obviously they're projecting Frazier to slide in as one of the guard spots, and they lost Jonah Jackson to the Rams. But Zach Frazier is a dog, has got that blue collar mentality. He's going to fit in perfectly with what Dan Campbell wants to do up front. And I think that he's really, I love me some Zach Frazier. Honestly, if they would have passed on Nix and just took Frazier at 23, wouldn't have been upset at all. Then Kool-Aid goes to the Ravens. Ladd McConkey goes to the Niners. Now, I feel like this is laying the groundwork to an Ayuk trade either during the middle of the draft or after the draft. But McConkey on the outside would be pretty damn good with Brock Purdy and company. And then Jalen Pope goes to the Chiefs. So in that spot. But the Vikings, again, Bo Nix at 23, but Terrion Arnold up at the top. I feel like Terrion is so damn solid in every facet. Plus, he's a great leader, high character dude that he's almost just sort of forgotten about because everyone wants to talk about Wiggins, everyone wants to talk about Cooper, everyone wants to talk about Quinion, everyone wants to talk about Kool-Aid because he's got an awesome name. But I mean, Terrion is just rock solid. All right, so I won't be upset with him at 11. And like we said, with Nix at 23, they had their choice of Nix and Penix, but if Nix is the guy, Nix is the guy. Let's go. Cowboy up. He is Drew Brees. F it. F your mom, F your face. So there you go. But your thoughts are thoughts. Pete Schrager's mock draft 1.0. Look at that dude. That's right. That's right. Vikings stick and pick and go cornerback and quarterback. Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skol, production value.